Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to VSL F1. Something very different for the next 5 or 6 weeks. We've got no F1 cars on track. We've got the F2 cars as we do our very own Cup Series for Season 1. We've got a great calendar coming up for you. We'll tell you that in just a few moments' time. My name is Jess Ball, one of your commentators as per usual. You're stuck with me unfortunately, but you know you're gonna love me. Anyway, joining me in the commentary box, I'm delighted to say he joined me last week for the finale of Tier 2. We got Rando back. We can't get rid of him, can we? Rando, how's it going?
Yeah, unfortunately David Croft rejected. He's off in Vegas at the moment, so you're stuck with me for the next 6 weeks. But Newfoundland here in VSL. So F2 racing we'll have tonight, which most people probably haven't even driven an F2 car until the series was announced. Let's be realistic. Most people don't even realize there are F2 cars in this game, as I learned in a conversation with someone recently. So this should be exciting. A lot of differences. We will have a one-shot qualifying and a sprint race and, you know, your traditional feature race. Of course, 50% distances. And unlike F1, a sprint race actually makes sense here because they reverse the top 10 from qualifying. Because why would you have 2 separate qualifying? Sorry, that is my rant out of the way with the F1 sprints, F2 sprints on top. I'll say that much.
Yeah, to be fair, the F2 sprints are always a lot better. They do it the right way, and they don't have a separate qualifying. Yes. F1, do it like F2 next season, thank you. So yes, as Rando was saying, one-shot qualifying, the sprint and the feature is 50% race, so for the sprint it's 12 laps and for the feature is 16 laps. Bonus point for the driver who takes pole, 2 fast lap points to be awarded for both sprint and feature, and then the top 10 score point for the sprint and the top 15 score points for the feature. We've got a nice calendar coming up. As I was saying earlier, we got Bahrain on this week. Then we got Imola, then we got the home of British Motorsport in Silverstone, then we got Belgium, then we got Zandvoort, and then Abu Dhabi. And there's only 6 rounds taking us up to, I think, the Christmas break. Pretty much most of the tracks, the F2 cars have already been in real life, so it will be interesting to see how the drivers do tonight.
Yeah, you know, all these tracks are racing tracks. They aren't like time races. Of course, we didn't see F2 in Imola this year, but we also didn't see any F1 in Imola this year because it decided to rain a lot in Imola during that time. But yeah, they're all tracks that everyone should be familiar with. Zandvoort may be the outlier there. It's a track that isn't too popular amongst drivers, but Bahrain, Silverstone, Spa, Abu Dhabi are very popular tracks, as is Imola for the more serious league races. Imola would be a popular track for them also. So it's all could be familiar territory for most of the drivers, you'd hope. Of course, the unfamiliarity is the F2 cars compared to the F1 cars. I think the thing that people are going to be shocked by the most is there is no ERS in F2, so that is going to be a bit of surprise trying to press the overtake button for an overtake and realizing you don't actually have to do it. You don't actually have it, so you'll have to do it the traditional way. So that could be something that plays into the racing we'll have over the next 6 weeks.
Yes, and there's a few other features before we go to the driver lineup, because we've got quite a good driver lineup for this season. The drivers voted on whether they wanted preset setups, full setups, or fixed setups, and the majority of drivers voted for fixed setups, which means the only thing you can change is your brake bias. That's it. You can't change anything else. It's going to be all about driver skill and pace today, which I think is going to be even more exciting. And I don't think you can change tyre pressures either, but you can't change fuel anyway in F2 cars. You never can. So the only difference is you only can change brake bias. But let's have a look at our driver lineup before we go to one-shot qualifying. I believe we're missing one driver at the moment. I will have to. It's
well.
going to be hard to get used to these cars because we're used to commentating F1. But not everyone is here tonight. I think we got one reserve filling in, but again, we'll go through that in just a moment. So, in the MP Motorsport, we got MXite and Leroy. In the Carlin, we got Bazza and Casper. Bazza is not here tonight, so Waze is replacing him for this week only. In the ART, we got Matt, Ryan, and Gareth. I believe they're both here tonight. Yes, they are here tonight. That's good to see. In the Prema, we are actually no. Let me go on to this team and drive. We're about to get underway, so I'll be quick. Jack, Craig, and Stephen. They're both here tonight. In the High Tech, we have got Ryan Berry and Glock, and they're both here tonight as well. In the Downs, we've got Tony P and Cam, Virtuosi, Lewis, Craig, and Speed Knighton, PHM Racing, Acorn, and Matter, Cam Boss, JP, and Judy Show, and Yam, Amersfoort, Davo, and Yuri. Now, I believe it's Davo's first race in the game, which is going to be quite interesting. I think... Is he here? I don't think he's here tonight. No, he's not. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Okay. That's good. He actually has got the game now. And I do believe we got Wasabi putting in for another driver, but I can't remember which it is. But mixture of F1 and F2 drivers from last season. I kind of like this grid. It'll be interesting to see how the Tier 1 drivers do against the Tier 2 drivers in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, of course. You got a lot of the names I recognize from 2-2 have produced good racing. I'm excited. Very unlucky not to win the Brazil race, but that kind of just summed up a season for anyone who watched the Tier 2 racing last season. I'm excited. Usually had a good qualifying, good majority of the race, and then something would just happen to him to ruin it. But you have Yuli Show, who came second. We got a one-shot qualifying, which I find impossible to commentate over. But Bahrain is one of those really nice tracks for qualifying, really nice track for a race. One of my favorite tracks for league racing completely. As someone has missed turn 1 completely, I'm on board with it. Speedway Racer, who's got turn 1 a bit wrong, unfortunately.
Let's go on board with Glock.
These new cars.
Let's go on board with Glock as he heads towards turn number 4. This track was built in... Well, it was first developed in 1999, but it was first used in Formula 1 back in 2004. Turn 5 and turn 6 as well. You've got to be extremely careful in these F2 cars, as we got a few disqualifications as well, but we will ignore that. Heading towards turn 7 now. Now you're going to be approaching the most difficult parts of the circuit. Turn 9 and 10, double left-handed corner. It's very blind on entry, and the braking zone even more tricky on F2 cars, and the car can unsettle you on the exit if you're not careful. Past turn 11 and heading in towards turn 12, as some people like to call it, the understeering corner, the car killer corner. It can catch people out on the inside curb as well. And now you're going to be heading in towards turn 13, using that right hand apex as well. You don't want to be using too much curb in the F2 cars, as I was saying, but down this back straight, I wonder if we're going to see some overtakes there from these drivers tonight. Looks like Glock is still going to be fastest at the moment as he heads towards the final corner of turn 14 and 15. I don't know why they call it as 2 corners, to be honest, but I like to call it as 1. But up to the line he goes, and it's a 1:41.271 for him and Cam in P2. We've got 4 Tier 1 drivers in the top 4. The highest Tier 2 driver is MXite in 5th, so he did a good result there. And we've got quite a few invalidations, so not as many as I thought, though, which is great to see.
Yeah, but you've quickly seen with the field spread that a lot of drivers are not used to these F2 cars at all. A lot of people going in thinking the handling model will be the exact same, or the brakes and the throttle. They are not. It's very difficult to get used to. It feels heavier, in my opinion. A few times I drove F2, they just feel a bit more heavy just due to the lack of downforce. But we have our first grid for a feature race here. This is not the grid for the race we are about to see. I think it's going to be Hassel who will be pole for the sprint race we're about to see. I believe his top 10 get reversed, if I'm correct.
I think so, but we'll need to double check on that one. So Glock is on pole for the feature. Then we got Cam, Casper, Matter, Excite, Gareth, Stephen, Pete, Ryan, Berry, Leroy, and we got Lewis, Davo, Ryan, Wasabi, Yuri, and we didn't get the rest of the grid because everyone was too fast. But yeah, sprint race, 12 laps. There's not much difference between how many laps for the sprint and feature, except the sprint, you don't have to stop. Whereas in the feature, you do. 50% race, of course, as well. This track costed $150 million to make, and it had, I think, around about 6 layouts. It had the endurance layout in 2010. Absolutely hated that. And it had the outer layout back in 2020, which I have to say, bring back again for a sprint race. I think, you know what they should do, right? For the sprint race in F1, have it on the outer layout, and for the main race, have it for the full layout, and then that'll spice things up a little bit. Oh my, they're keen tonight. I thought they got the ready up roll.
They suggest that.
Well, did they suggest that?
Yeah, but 2022, I think Bahrain suggested that, and F1 kind of went, that is just going to drive the teams insane. No thank you for that. But we already have some disqualifications happening, which is great to see.
Not great to see.
It is. I am very sarcastic, if you have not told. But I was correct. It is the top 10 reverse. So Hassel in the MP Motorsport car will lead us away. We'll have Ryan Berry in P2, Knight in third, Stephen 4th, Gareth 5th, MXI 6th, Matt 7th, Casper 8th, Cam 9th, Glock 10th, Lewis Craig 11th, Davo 12th, M Ryan 13th, Wasabi 14th, Speedway Racer 15th, Waze 16th, Tony 17th, J Pedro 18th. Actually, that's a surprise to see J Pedro 18th. Craig will be ending the field here, but 12 laps to come around this Bahrain International Circuit. And just to show my age, I am only 1 year older than the circuit in F1 in this time in F1.
You did say your age, I think, about a week ago or something. So I can understand that that you're 1 year old than the circuit was built, which is quite interesting. But you're not as young as other esports drivers anyway, if that makes you feel any better.
Cheers, oldest.
Yeah, to a few other drivers as well. I believe Wasabi's filling in for Deck tonight, as Deck put in the chat that he couldn't join, but he's still trying to join for the feature race, hopefully, which is good news. But Asa just put in the chat, favourite F2 driver. I don't know. I don't have an favourite F2 driver. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I do. Ollie Behrman.
Fair. I have to say, oh jeez, who am I a fan of? I'm trying to remember who the F2 drivers are. They haven't raced in months. I'll tell you for a fact, my favourite F3 driver next year will be Alex Dunn. He's definitely going to be on the grid next year. The Irishman represented us. He's going to be in Macau this week, and he's going to be hopefully racing for iTech in F3 next year. Fingers crossed, an Irishman on the F1 grid in a few years' time. Has been a while. Last year there was an Irishman on the F2 grid. It was the year I was born, actually. I think his name was Ralph Bierman, and he wasn't the best. I think he got 1 point in his career.
And you could, of course, remember Matt Havea as well. He was kind of interesting,
he's the gold,
to say the least. Yeah, he is a goat of F2. Even though he wasn't good, people loved him because of his attitude. Anyway,
he's about to get. Car anyway.
We're about to get underway. Yes, he did. 4, 5 red lights for the first sprint race of the season. Leroy's on pole. Ryan Berry is alongside. And we are underway, and looks like one of the premiers has got a very good start. It is quite hard to see in Bahrain at the moment, but it is Ryan Berry that gets a jump on Leroy. We've got Steven trying to go on the inside. Oh, there's a pile up. There's a pile up in turn 1, but luckily quite a few people avoided that, which is always good news. We've got Stephen, who's leading, Ryan Berry second, Leroy third, and we got Speed Knighton, who is trying to make some headway, but Matter trying to take advantage of it. So is Excite as well. Both the MP Motorsport cars trying to do their best, but it's not working for them so far. And a lot of people going side by side through turn 5 and 6. There's Speed Knighton has
spin in the background.
Well, yeah, that was Speed Knighton, and he was in Jack Doohan's car, which is...
There's a few spins actually coming into turn 8.
Yeah, it is hard to control on these F2 cars, not gonna lie. So, not really that surprised to see that, as Ryan Berry was in the lead, but now he's dropped down into 4th place. And did I say that the braking zone in turn 10 is harder than the F2 cars? Well, I was proven right there, as we've got a potential dive bomb through turn 11. We've got Matter versus Cam to the inside. And even though they have the same livery, they're in different teams, so they're going to be fighting for different things. Oh no, it's Ryan Berry and Cam, not Matter and Cam. My bad. But anyway, Cam is up into 4th as well.
Beginning his murder streak right now with Red Bull Juniors. It's been a while since he's actually executed on the junior program anyway.
That is true. That is true. And I think we got Glock, who's trying to make a move up the field. He was a bit lower down position, wasn't he, in qualifying, considering he's a Tier 1 champion?
No, he qual pole.
Oh yeah, we did. My bad.
He's not got an nameplate actually.
Yeah, his race here is not going very well. I completely forgot that it's reversed. He went wide, and Yuri's got a time penalty. That's not ideal.
And Ryan was going through that corner sideways, and Lewis Craig went straight into him to basically hit him the right way around. They're trying to dive him into turn 4. There's a lot of cars without end places. Lewis Craig almost off the track. And Ryan's the one going off the track though. He's going to go wheel to wheel Gareth here through this S section. Very tight here. You need compliant opponents here to get a move done, and they're seeming compliant here anyway. Casper's just behind there. He might set a dive bomb on M. Ryan, which he's going to attempt for turn 8, and looks to have it. It'll be a traction race going up turn 9, but looks like Casper has that P9 locked down anyway. I don't think there's any car with both end plates actually looking at this.
No.
I think every car's missing an end plate.
They are struggling, aren't they? And considering Glock started in 10th, in obviously because he's in pole for the feature, he started 10th. He's done well to get into 6th place on the road, so... But there are a few drivers struggling for grip, and they're all on the hard tyres, which probably explains why they are struggling. But I don't think they get a choice with fixed setups. What tyres they go on to, which makes things even more intense. So we're about to start lap 3, as we can see Leroy trying to go side by side with Matter, but can quite make it work. I think Cam's going to try and do something similar, so let's go on board with Cam in Awasa's car. Of course, Awasa still having a bit of a chance to win the F2 title, but it'll be very unlikely in real life. I don't think he does now, no. So he shows that he had a good start of the season, but towards the middle half, that's where it's ruined his chances. But Cam's up to 3rd, and he's going to chase down Matter for 2nd. Leroy almost got Cam there. Lovely side-by-side action. And we got Ryan Berry versus Glock. Two high-tech cars fighting every tooth and nail right now. One of them, the car is Isaac Carter. I can't remember. I think it's Jack Crawford in the other car, but obviously they're known as Glock and Ryan Berry. Anyway. Yeah. Ryan Berry's Hadjar and Glock's Crawford. I was right with the F2 drivers, of course. The one bit of the track was bouncing very weird, but I think it's fixed now. Meanwhile, Tony P gets past Matt Ryan in towards turn 8 and heading into P10. Don't forget top 10 score point in at the sprint. Another spin from Yuri, and that's dropped him to the back of the field.
Yeah, Glock almost had a spin off 10. He rolled that outside curve, which usually forces a spin, but good car control from Glock. He's going to look to go around the outside of turn 12. Another difficult corner, can easily send the car into a 360 if you hit that curve incorrectly, but he's navigated well. Very good car control on display here. He's looking to see where he can go for the move now. We got DRS now because we're 2 green flag laps in. have DRS down this main straight. Anyway, there won't be any ERS to play with. Just makes it even easier for him to get to move because there won't be any true defense shown by Leroy. DRS is open on the high tech. He's going to pull out the slipstream and in to P4, but can Leroy fight this one back? Deep on the brakes, that might cost him unless he gets to go run off 2 and 3. He'll have the DRS now. Anyway, we'll have some DRS chicken potentially on display here. But he looks a bit too far back to go for the move here anyway. Yeah, no, can't go for the move there, unfortunately.
Cam, by the way, I was riding on board with him. He had a bit of a slide into turn 1. I don't know how he saved that. If that was me, I would have been in the wall. Meanwhile, it's 3 wide in towards turn 4 and 5. And by the way, the camera angle that you're seeing on screen right now is absolutely rubbish. Please, game, can you go to a different camera? You know what? I'm going to go on the onboard shot because the other camera is not very good. I have other words to say about cameras, but obviously we're not past watershed yet. It's not even 9 o'clock. Lewis Craig getting a 3-second time penalty. The 3 drivers trying to negotiate turn number 10, but they do that with not a problem at all. Steven, by the way, is doing a very good job. 3.1 seconds clear of everybody else. So I think he's probably the only one that's avoided all the carnage so far. I wonder if he's put a little bit of practice in. And by the way, if you check the VSL Twitter, we've got our own bingo going on. We haven't done it in a while. It has been requested to come back, and good news, it is back. So go on to VSL_F1 on Twitter, and you could tick things. So Glock on pole, you could tick. Pete spins, you can pit. You can cross off as well. And it's a dry race, obviously. And I think we had yellow flags on that one. So we already got 3 or 4 ticked already in the bingo sheet. As Gav, by the way, goes for a move past Lewis Craig. But Lewis Craig tries to fight back through turns 2 and 3. This is great stuff as well. I can't remember if he gets DRS. I think you do.
He does.
Yeah,
he has it.
Yeah, he does have ERS as Gav gets a better run in towards turn number 4. But Lewis Craig gets a cut back as well. It's going to be 3 wide in towards turn 5. Casper ideally wants to back off there, which he does, but Lewis Craig is not giving up through 6 and 7. Yellow flag. That is Davo. That's had a moment down into P14. That is a shame. But let's hope everybody can keep going as Lewis Craig fights back from Gav, but Gav gets a better run here through 10. Oh, look at this. Casper's following Gareth, and a beautiful helicopter shot captures that perfectly. And now it's going to be heading towards another DRS zone. Casper could have tried the overtake there, but he's not going to. And they all stay firmly in their position. But I have to say, Casper doing a great job trying to stay within this pack.
Yeah, he just can't find a way to get into that P8. Lewis Craig with that time penalty, though, that might drop him out of the points when we're done this race. Almost half distance at this stage. Still a bit more to go. Another spin for Davo. I believe there was a second yellow flag out there after turn 10. Difficult traction zone, so it's easy to lose the car there. As we see Casper lose the car there, somehow doesn't put himself into the wall. But instead of attacking, he might be defending now from Tony. Tony looked a bit too far back there. Casper very lucky not to end his race there. He was going straight into that pit wall almost, but he lives to fight another day. Somehow maintains his P9. I don't know how he has. And maintains his DRS. Meanwhile, Cam is gaining on Stephen. There will be a fight for P1 commencing shortly at this rate. So Stephen in the prey mat as he used his tires a bit too much. These tires, the F2 tires, they are a bit more difficult to use, unlike the F1 tires. They can easily jump off a cliff if you get a bit too aggressive on them. But we'll see what happens when the fight commences.
Yep, as we've got, I think, Matt Ryan trying to dive up inside of Speed Knighton. We've got 2 of the Alpine liveries fighting. Of course, they're not in the Alpine team because their drivers are in Alpine Academy, for those of you that don't know, of course, it can be very confusing at times if you're not an F2 viewer. I do recommend you watch F2 in real life because it's always, usually, better racing than F1, and that's a true fact because there's always closer racing. Probably because it's a spec cars, as I think Pete was going to try for the risk there, but I don't know what's happened to Stephen, by the way, Rando, because we've got Cam that's already caught up to him, or maybe Cam just saving his tyre life for this moment. He's going to get a DRS in towards turn number 1. He's going to lunge to the right-hand side. Is he going to take the lead from Stephen? Or he's going to try and hold the left-hand side line? And I think they're going to be trying to gain some slipstream through on here in towards turn number 4. But Cam been forced to stay behind. We have seen people going side by side before. Remember Casper, Gareth and Lewis Craig. So I wonder if Cam's going to try and do the same thing. Avoids that curb. That's what people did not do tonight. And it forced them into a spin. I wonder if Cam could try in the braking zone. Or he could try now. But obviously there is more dirty air to contend with on these F2 cars. Heading towards a blind braking zone. Oh, a bit of contact there. Honestly helps the car a bit, but he stays behind.
Yeah, this could be the move though. Down to turn 11, he's looking really close there. But I think he's going to wait until the main straight. He's still got another 5 laps to make this move. But the longer he waits, the more likely he is to bring the likes of Matt and Glock into the equation. Because they're looking quicker than, well, Stephen anyway. Acorn's joined the session there, so we'll have him for the feature, hopefully. Meanwhile, yellow flag in sector 2. I think that may have been excited. Potentially, he's losing a lot of time, but he's still running. No safety car intervention yet. We're about to see another chance for Cam to take this lead off of Stephen. They seem to be pulling for Matt, but Glock is gaining. We'll see if there's a battle for the podium going to be coming, but still we're focused on P1. But again, Cam's just a bit too far back in these straights, which it's not the case of having a faster car because they are fixed setups. So interesting to see where Stephen's getting the space from, because he doesn't have DRS while Cam does, but he's still looking faster on these straights. Cam, again, not close enough to make a move, almost into the back of Stephen there. He's looking way more confident through this fast flowing sector, which requires more downforce. So I'm very confused as to what's happening here on these fixed setups, that there's this much of a difference between two drivers, between straights and corners. But we'll see what the situation is. Cam's going to have another dose of DRS coming up very soon after this difficult, awkward turn 10. Has to drift a bit wide onto that curb, which just unsettles the car. It's a bit too far back to chance move into 11. We will get a bit of field spread. I'm excited it's gone on to the soft tires, which is interesting.
That's brave for him, but he's got nothing to lose at the end of the day. Maybe try and go for fastest lap. I don't think you get a fast lap point in the sprint if we're going by VSL rules, but I will check the point system channel on our Discord, which you can check, by the way. Make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button if you are new, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at VSL_F1. And Cam gets another opportunity once again. And I think he could try and get it this time. He's got to be in the slipstream. And Stephen's trying to break it here. Throw it in towards turn number 1. He's going to go right. Hits that apex quite nicely, does Cam, which is going to help him with the ideal line that he needs. And there was a bit of contact there. No harm done, though, as Cam is in the lead of the Bahrain sprint race. I would call it Bahrain Grand Prix, but it's not. It's a sprint race. And Stephen will have to settle for second. Will Mata close up in time, or will Stephen just about do enough to hold on to that? Oh, no, it's Leroy that's gone off. He's gone off down into 8th spot. So that is a shame for the driver from MP Motorsport of Leroy. But at the moment, he's still fighting for points.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a spin with the contact between Cam and O'Stephen through turn two and turn three. If that happened in real life, there would be severe wing damage for O'Stephen. So very surprised that's ended up going cleanly for them. But yeah, Mac getting a bit close to this fight, as is Glock. Few more laps to go. This isn't necessarily over yet. Stevens maintaining the DRS detection anyway. We'll see when it comes down to this straight just before turn 14. Bit wide through turn 13, though that may hurt him a bit, but he should be fine to get DRS again. So we'll see if O'Stephen tries to fight this back.
I think he's going to try at least because he doesn't want to give this one up. He wants to get a race win under his belt. But I think he's going to almost run out of DRS. You've got to be within 1 second of each other in order to do so. And you've got to manage your tyres effectively. And it's hard to obviously track on this game to see whether they have the right amount of tyre life currently. As a gap, by the way, trying to be defensive on Ryan Berry and also Casper as well. And I think Gav has the edge on Ryan Berry for now. So Ryan Berry into 6th, Gav in 5th. Looks like Casper is going to try and make it 3 wide and maybe get the back pair of them. Gas boxed in through 4. That's going to be tight. Yellow flag. Luckily, it's not the 3 of them. And these 3 drivers are keeping it relatively clean right now. Oh,
No, they're
I
not.
spoke
No, they're
too
not.
soon.
No, they're not.
That's an example of a commentator's curse. Gareth avoided that trouble. That allowed Leroy through too. Lewis Craig in 7th. And Casper dropped down into 8th spot. We got 2.5 laps to go. Still anything can happen. I don't think there's damage in that car though, so a relief there.
Yeah, somehow. Good thing there was ghosting also, otherwise there would be a massive pile-up. But yeah, that was just inevitable to happen, going 3 wide through turn 7. Someone's getting spun. And unfortunately, someone getting spun caused the ripple effect, which has benefited the likes of Leroy, who's got from P8 to P5 in the space of about 2 meters. Happy days for him. Unhappy days, though, for Ryan Berry, who's gone from P4 to P10 in 2 meters. But he's still in the points. He's going to try and send one on Tony here for the final corner, but doesn't do that. We're going on to the penultimate lap here. You see a massive field spread anyway between the top 4 and the midfield, we'll call it for now. Anyway, looks like unless there's a mistake, the top 4 is set anyway. Top 5, 5th through 10th looks like it go either way here. There's a few drivers doing some sends anyway. Jay Pedro puts himself into the points. The motor and Perry even further.
Casper up to 7th.
Doom as hell. Lewis Craig, is he going to send one on Casper? No.
No, I don't think Lewis was going to get back on Casper after that one. And you are in a good position for points. I wonder if you're going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit or go for sends. As we've got Yuri and Ray's fighting in the background through turn 5 and 6. I think Ray's has the upper hand there in the Carlin tonight. As Deck has just joined. Hopefully he'll be back for the feature race. And keeping it tight through 7 and 8 then. Down the hill for the penultimate time in this race. There are so many floodlights around here. In night race, you've got to legally have a lot to obviously keep a race going, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to see, and it's very, very hard for the cameras as well. So that's an interesting fact. As Excite, by the way, get past Davo for 18th, even though he's on the soft compounder tyres. So he is making some good use of it. So final lap of this race. Cam still leads by 2 seconds, but Mata versus Glock, 2 VSL champions in the past, going wheel to wheel here. And you can see Mata trying to defend for his life through turn 4. and covers off Glock quite nicely, but Glock's got a couple of sets to go to see if he can try and go for the move. We've got, I think, Casper trying to go for the move on Leroy through turn 4 now. So we've got loads of battles happening in the space of a few corners, which is great to see. And oh, we've got Leroy that's gone a bit deep. Leroy's gone a bit deep. This will allow Casper a chance to hopefully capitalise on that. And I don't think he's going to capitalise. So he is going to potentially stay behind. But look at this, Casper going for the send over. Not much contact made from the two drivers. Down the hill through towards turn 8 now. And in towards turn 9, keeping it on the power. Casper could sneak around the outside, but he's not going to do that. This is the closest battle we're seeing on screen at the minute. Trying to get every bit of straight line speed you possibly can. And unfortunately, Casper,
finish the race.
We've got Cam who's about to finish the race, so let's go on board with him. Cam has driven stellar today. He didn't get pole, the sprint reverse grid pole, but that doesn't matter. Cam wins the sprint race and gets some decent points to boot. Stephen in second, Matter on the podium, Glock in 4th, and we got an interesting battle for 6th. But let's watch Gav across the line, who's going to finish home in 5th. The number 5 driver finishing in P5. And
going to be a scrap for the rest of the points. You got penalties, also the dish out. To the line, Leroy just keeps it. Lewis Craig could have drops the 10th, but he'll keep a point anyway because Ryan Berry's a bit further back there. So Lewis Craig survives that anyway. Someone's gone very wide off the final corner there. I think it was Speed Wire Racer who's gone very wide off the final corner.
Doing drifting, Tokyo drifting. Love to see it.
He's just given his mechanics a very lengthy job to do for the feature race.
And then we got...
I mean, if I was a mechanic, I would be handing in my P45 right now.
I don't know what I would do, to be honest with you. But
I'd hand in my P45.
I would just wait and see what could happen here. But everyone has crossed the line, luckily. And we still got the feature race to go. And the sprint race was 22 minutes. I'm predicting the feature's going to be around about half an hour, 32 minutes-ish. As
16 laps, right?
16, 17 laps, yeah. I think it's 17, but I might be wrong. As we got an all-British podium, and Cam, at the moment, will be leading the championship. Bearing in mind, Glock has the extra point as well for pole. And I'm trying to remember how many points she gets for pole position. I think it's 2.
2?
I think it's 2 points. But for the... I believe the sprint is 10 points down to 1. So we'll go through your order. I need to actually get the sprint weekend result. There we go. So, Cam wins from Stephen, Matter, Glock, Gareth, Leroy, Casper, Tony, JP doing a great job there, and Lewis Craig getting the final point despite that 3 seconds. And then we've got Ryan Berry, Speed Knighton, Matt Ryan, Waze, Yuri, Wasabi, Jack Craig, Excite, and Davo. Obviously, Acorn did not start the race, but out of the ones who started, everyone finished. That's always lovely to see. But the drivers are going to have a little bit of a breather now for the sprint race. And I have to say, drivers that you would expect to be up there delivered. But it was great to see Tony P and JP come from 17th and 18th all the way up to 8th and 9th. And they get a second chance doing the feature race because obviously their grid slots don't get reversed. So I wonder if they're going to do the same now after knowing what has happened in this race just gone.
There's more strategy involved in this now because you actually have to pit. So you have to, I think you can decide what tires you start on. There's only 2 sets. There's the hards and the softs. So do you go aggressive at the start and put on the softs, or do you go conservative and throw on the hard and see what happens? Because it is a significantly longer pit stop. So if you get that cheap pit stop with a safety car, could be pay massive dividends. We've seen that a few times in real F2 that the drivers who go for the hard tires, they benefit due to a safety car towards the end of the race, and they'll have a free pit stop and win the race after starting P20. Just ask Clement Oplak in Zandvoort.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
For those who didn't watch the race, you don't need to. Anyone who had any championship contention decides to just throw themselves into the wall.
Yeah,
And Victor Martin decided to throw the other ones
there
to
was
the wall.
quite a few safety cars, as far as I remember. But formation lap on again. Just in case you are wondering what the grid is for the feature race, it's how they qualified. So, let me get the tyres up. I'm just going to check if I'm on the right scene this time. In a minute, I'm going to let you do the start for the feature because I'm nice. Because I don't want to take up all the glory at VSL. So, Glock will be starting on pole position. Then it'll be Cam in P2, Casper in third, Matter in fourth, Excite in fifth, Gaff in sixth, Stephen seventh, Speed Knighton in eighth, Ryan Berry ninth, Leroy in 10th. Then we got Lewis Craig in 11th, Davo in 12th, Matt Ryan 13th, Wasabi 14th, Yuri 15th, Shet Wade in 16th, Tony in 17th, JP 18th, and Jack Craig 19th. Acorn did not make it in time, so unfortunately his internet has not lived to tell the tale, so he's not going to get any points this week.
Oh, Jesus.
As Glock and Can, the top two, have been disqualified from the session. Luckily, only for the formation lap, luckily. And Cam's going to have cold tyres, so is Glock, so I'm a bit worried about those two.
Yeah, and they're going to be put to the lowest spot on the grid spot, on the grid box. That's a tongue twister, but everyone's going for the softs. I'm not sure if that's part of the fixed setup rules or what the situation is, but
it is fixed out. You don't get a tyre choice. It puts you on what tyres it gives you.
That's unfortunate. We can't see strategy play out here then, unfortunately.
Usually in F2, I don't think you're allowed to change strategy anyway.
In real life you can.
Oh, can you? Well, I haven't actually tried full stack. I might try before next week to give you an idea, but yes. Soft tyres. We do know that the soft do degrade quite quickly around here in normal F1 cars, so I would expect it probably to be about the same. In normal F1 cars, 7 laps optimal in a 50% race. But obviously, if we got less laps, probably cut that by 3, maybe about 4, 5 laps, and then go on hard to the end. That's what I would probably do. Or maybe you can wait, do 3 laps, and then go on hards, and then just do what you did in the race just gone. As we are about to go underway. Again, it's hard to see on the grid, unfortunately. But Rando, I will let you take it away.
I think my headphones have died. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. It's just through poor audio. So it's going to sound a bit
not good.
Weird, but we're going to get action commencing very shortly. As through the thick fog, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights out, and we are away in Bahrain. And immediately you see the difference in the tire temperatures as Casper's had a brilliant start. He's going to try to look for the lead. Possibly not. Casper try to fight back into turn 2. Are we going to be clean for turn 2? Someone's gone well off the track there. Free wide through turn 1 for P2. Casper's the one who wins out that battle. Matt's had a poor run there. That may leave him vulnerable to the likes of M Excited. But here comes Cam going around the outside. We've had Leroy and Lewis Craig make contact through turn 3. Casper and Cam fighting for P2. VSC is out though to end that scrap before it gets potentially dirty.
That was, I think, Lewis Craig and Leroy, I think that was.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's why, because they are well at the back. There is a bit of wing damage to Leroy. So that's hindered his race anyway, because it's a VSC and not a full safety car. But now all you need to do is look at your delta, make sure you don't go over it, especially when the safety car comes in. Otherwise, you have a drive-through and you will be slamming your desk, potentially. I know I do that when it happens. only happened once, and it's never happened again because you get really mad when it happens. Because that is just race ending if you get a drive through. As I
Like
say that,
that.
Casper gets the drive through, so that's gonna hurt him. He has to serve that within 3 laps. He needs a safety car now to save his race, otherwise it is game over for him, and that's just benefit Glock. That puts a car between him and Cam's gonna try and immediately get ahead of him, get a good run off turn 13. He's gonna try into turn 14. They're going wheel to wheel there. Who's gonna be latest on the brakes? They're very tight rub wheels there. Very close to major contact, but Cam has that position. Is Casper going to serve it immediately? He does. He's in immediately to serve that. As Matt's coming in also, he must have damage from
Yeah,
all that.
I think so as well.
So
And
I'm excited to put himself up into P3, or is Matt going for a massive undercar here potentially? Is Craig and
or is he going to
Leroy
be
5 seconds?
doing what Nobilat did in Zambor and go on hards to the end? He's on hards.
Yeah, gonna have to go hard.
Oh, very bold strategy. But again, Nobilat did it in Zambor, so if anyone could do it, Mata can. And obviously Leroy had to pit for damage, so is Lewis Craig, so they're probably going to be doing the same. So their race is not over, but Mata obviously has the better chance compared to them all. 1.6 seconds now is a gap between Glock and Cam. Glock is in familiar territory right now. I did say in the last race, Glock didn't start very well, but I forgot obviously it was a reverse grid race.
In the background, Jay
As
Pedro.
JP has gone off, that's a shame because he's had such a good race and start last time in the sprint. But I think he's got a bit of damage. I think he made contact with Davo as well in the background. So that's probably, yeah, I think it was because he was ghosted for just a tiny bit. DRS will be activated, by the way, on lap 3. By the way, good start from Waze and Y Racer. They are following each other quite closely. They're up to 9th and 10th after starting a few positions lower than that. So a lot better in this race than we saw in the sprint.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're having a few more instances in the sprint. Casper well out of contention at this stage due to surface driver. Matt has a chance if he could bring those tires to the end. Same with Leroy. This guy's going to be pinned again. Definitely, he'll have to anyway. But we're about to get some DRS on Gareth. He's going to fight M Excited for this podium here as they run through turn 2 and turn 3. Very nicely fight both of them, but only one of them has DRS, so he's going to have that speed advantage. Going to try to go down on the inside. Jay Petrol's trying the pits. Meanwhile, B Casper to promote himself up into the podium. Emphasize going to fight this one through turn 4 and 5. They're going to go wheel to wheel for this very tight section. A bit of contact there. Oh, Steven Steve behind, seeing if he can get himself into the fray. They had this still wheel to wheel down to turn 8. Nudging ahead is Gareth, but MXI is going to try to go around the outside. He'll have the inside line for 9 and 10, which will give him the advantage here. But how brave are they going to be on the brakes? Very close to contact there. They're interlocking tires there. Oh, Steven's trying to find a place to go, but he just has nowhere to go. B. Gareth looks to have the position, but MXI still find it through turn 11. They've been wheel to wheel for about 7 corners, and I think now Gareth might have this. And he does, I think, have this. Yes, he does. And O'Stephen might send himself through here for P4 to make it double pain for the MP driver. But no, he doesn't. Outside parks that on the apex to survive. But brilliant run from O'Stephen. And he might just have this on the braking into turn 14. Gareth's looking set to have this podium, but he'll be vulnerable to DRS on the next lap. But he's still going wheel to wheel. I think O'Stephen has this. MXI's put a bit wide there, but that's the position for O'Stephen. Will there be a fight back here by MXI? Probably not, because O'Stephen has the DRS, but that is very good racing there for the podium.
This is absolutely insane between Gareth, Stephen and Excite, keeping it on the road nice and clean as well. And this is what F2 is all about. It's also about second chances. If you haven't done well in the sprint, it gives you a warm-up for the feature race and what's to come. Speed United doing very well as well. And he's trying to make a move past Excite. And it's going to be potentially a three-way fight for the podium. Nicely tucked in from Speed United up to 5th. And his next target is Steven, who is 1.3 seconds down the road. And I think Ryan Berry wants to go in the fight as well in Isaac Hadjar's car. And I think it's going to be hard to stay to the right, so maybe he could go for a dive bomb to the left, maybe. Nope, he's not going to do that. I think fair play to him, because otherwise he would have probably made contact. Pete catching up almost within DRS territory. But the advantage that Steven will have right now is that he will be within Gareth's DRS, so he'll be able to potentially try and go for moves, whereas Gareth is about 6 seconds behind the top two, which is pretty much in a league of their own right now. So unless Cam can do a cheeky undercut on Glock, looks like Glock's going to be winning this one, but you never know, Glock's tyres may start to degrade a bit as we're approaching lap 6 of 16. Actually, no, it's lap 5 of 16. They just started, my bad. And I think Steven's going to try and get past Gareth. And it's been in the background as well. Excited to come in for an early pit stop.
I mean, he's coming in now with 12 laps to go. That's how much they did in the sprint, so you can't do that distance. So he's going to be the first to pull that trigger anyway in the traditional pitting phase here. Meanwhile, O'Sea's looking for this podium. Gareth's position his car, but he's given himself a compromised line for turn 4, but he just parks the car in front of O'Siva to prevent any chance of a move there to survive. You know that, but this just lets the front two run away even further. And O'Siva's looking the quicker car out of this pair anyway. Gareth's very deep for turn 8. Could that lead to a move through 9? No, O'Siva's traction just very poor there through turn 8. Let's Gareth survive another couple of turns, but DRS about to be activated here through turn 10 11, but he just looks a bit too far back to chance to move here, so he's going to have to wait till next lap to go for that podium battle again.
Yeah, I think Steven's found a bit more pace at the moment, so he was saving a little bit for the last few laps. And Speed Knight not able to catch up the way he would have liked, but if these two keep squabbling, you never know. Speed Knight could be on the charge. He's almost within DRS, actually, as I said that. So I wonder if he's gained a bit of speed down this back straight. Same with Ryan Berry as well, but you never know what could happen with Ryan Berry so far. So Steven has a second chance. Yuri and Matt Ryan as well fighting for 7th spot.
And switch back.
A switchback of dreams here as Yuri and Matt Ryan are fighting. Gareth and Steven are fighting. It's hard to keep up on which battle to look for, but let's watch Matt Ryan and Yuri. Matt Ryan to the inside, and that's the move done. Beautiful from the pair of them.
Gone deep. He's gone very deep for one. This is going to be an easy repass with Speedway Racer. And Ryan gives him as much of a squeeze as he can, but he's defenseless. In Speedway Racer, Ryan just went deep off turn 1. That compromises line for turn 2 and 3. Poor acceleration, and with DRS just makes that move a guarantee for Speedway Racer.
Yeah, I think that was the case too for them.
They're at it again, Gareth and Steven.
Gareth and Steven, even though it's in a corner that you don't necessarily do an overtake on, you're like, you know
Gareth
what, I'm
rides the
going
curve,
to
but that's lets Steven through.
Yep, Gareth goes off the track, and that Steven gives a chance for P3, so Gareth's got to fight back this one. Maybe he could do it at turn 12. No, he's not going to do it in turn 12. But I've done it many a times in F1 cars by going too deep into death, so it is quite easy to do, so understandable for drivers to make that mistake. Everybody's human, but that's going to make things even difficult for Gareth, and because of that time he lost by going off in turn 10, that's allowed Speed Knighton to be within DRS of Gareth, but at least Gareth's going to get DRS on Steven, so that's going to counteract anything, and it's going to be quite a DRS train of dreams here. So is Gareth going to try and get... If I feel I was Gareth, I probably won't go for it here, because I don't think he's got the pace to do so. And so with Speed Knighton, he's backing off as well. Quite a few people have backed off for any moves. We've got Wade and Wasabi in the pits. And they're going to go on to hards as well until the end of the race. And doesn't look like Gav's going to get past anytime soon. But let's just keep on following them until the end as well. But we'll keep an eye on the undercut, see who goes ahead. It looks like Waze. No, it is Matter that gets ahead of Waze. Let's have a look at the pit exit. Yeah, Matter is comfortably ahead. So the undercut, so powerful.
You know, Gareth flirting with that 1 second gap, same as Speed Knights, and if one that falls out of DRS range, they will become vulnerable to the other. But Steven, again, he's seeming like the quicker car, but he's not gaining on Cam, which it just shows the pace difference between the front two and the rest. It's a battle for P3. By looks of it, so Cam just does look to have the pace on Glock. Actually, as I go on board with him, he's Tokyo drifting through turn 13. A bit more of that could make him a bit vulnerable. He's definitely damaged the tires there. We might see him in this lap or the next. Glock's very twitchy there. He's performing a dance for us and decides, you know what, that's my performance done. I'm coming into the pits. Cam's going to follow suit. And he gets a 5-second time penalty. Oh, you don't want to do that. Steven's going to stay out and take the lead of the race. Gareth's into the pits. United will stay out. Seeing a lot of drivers coming in now. There seems to be the optimal lap to come in. Few drivers are staying out at this stage, so they're going to go long and have fresh starts towards the end. Banking on the safety car coming out very soon, because undercuts in F2 are very powerful. There's a lot of drivers are getting the braking horribly wrong coming into the pits and picking up 5-second time penalties.
There is a lot of time penalties, I think, starting to come a cropper, unfortunately. So that's not going to help any driver, but let's see what everyone can do as Steven still leads from Knighton, but of course they still yet to pit.
With Matt, who's now behind Gareth, so if he could get those tires to the end, he might be scoring some points here. But it'll be an ask. He's probably going to need a safety car again and pit for new soft compound tires, but he's at the moment in a decent position. But still only half race distance at this stage, so those tires are just going to wear that much more on him. But right now, that's a leader. Actually, I don't know how much you lose. So 19 seconds to Steven and Glock. He's definitely going to lose that while pitting. I mean, I don't think he's looking to get overcut on Glock anyway. He was about 12 seconds behind. But we'll see where he comes out. Cam, he now has a chance with due to Cam's 5-second time penalty. I think Osimhen's going to be coming in this lap. He definitely is just seeing the line he's taking. Let's see if he gets his braking right there. He's very cautious there. Anyway, he doesn't want to risk. He's so cautious. Knighton gets ahead of him.
Wow, and Ernie gets a 5-second penalty. That's karma.
I mean, there's being cautious and there's just...
Bing!
You may as well walk it. He was going so slow, and he's got ahead of Knighton through the pits. That's an exchange anyway. He's so slow that Knighton pulls a Sebastian Vettel on him and overtakes him in the pit lane, and then somehow the pit crew's slower on
That's
Knighton,
weird.
and Knighton gets out. Meanwhile, wheel to wheel between Gareth and Matt, and they might catch up into this duel. This could get very tight here. Matt's going to try to send one around the outside Gareth. There's free white there. The interlock there is Gareth and Knighton, and that's cost Gareth a chance to get past Matt again. There may be words over that. Did Knighton
Gareth's gonna
come out
fight
too
again.
aggressive? Did Gareth not pay attention?
I thought Gareth was going to fight again for a minute there, looking at his car. And we know Gareth likes to go for moves through turn 5 and 6. We know Gareth likes to go through into 5 and 6. Pete could drive through 7, but he's not going to. And I believe, apart from Davo, everyone has, and maybe Matter. Actually, no, Matter pitted on lap 1, didn't he?
Lap 1.
So everyone else has boxed. So Glock leads. Your net race leader from Cam, from Steven, as Yuri gets past Dave on fresher tyres, and I don't think Davo is going to last very long, sadly, which is unfortunate, as Wasabi gets another 3 second.
I think Davil's not in the lobby because this car's ghosted. I just noticed that.
Oh, yeah. And that's probably why his car has stayed out, so I wonder if he's left the session. I can't invite him, sadly. Oh.
Dang.
I don't have him as a friend, sadly.
Waze and Ryan fighting through turn 13.
Oh.
Very interesting what happens there. I think Waze lifted off the throttle to get DRS.
DRS chicken for Waze, I see.
He lifted halfway through the straight to get DRS, and he'll get this move surely now. As they come down the main straight here. This is for the points. This is for well, actually top 15 score. This is for the top 10.
Top 15 score points.
Ryan sends one around the outside. There goes the contact. Very close there. They're both losing the rear a bit there through turn 1, turn 2. Waze again has the DRS because Ryan sent it too early. So that's let Waze just get DRS again. Big DRS chicken being performed here. And Ryan again tries to send one with around the outside, but you just don't have the traction there anymore. And Waze keeps that P10. Great tactical fighting there from Waze.
I have to say, that was very, very smart from him. That was very tactical, and I don't think I would have thought of doing that. So that's probably given me ideas whenever I race around Bahrain. But I wonder if Matt Ryan has seen what Waze has done and think, right, I'm going to try and do the same thing on you. And you're not going to do anything about it. Meanwhile, Gar is right on the back of Matter once again, and he almost got him through turn 13, and this is the exit of the start of the backstraight. Well, there's some things that don't make sense, but Gareth almost got Matter then, and I think if I was Gareth, I would wait because he won't have DRS, so he's gonna tactically stay behind, wait till he gets DRS, and then go for the move.
Big Max coming to the pits. He is, yeah.
Yeah, I think he thinks that the tyres
And
are
gets
not.
5 seconds.
I think he thinks the tyres are not manageable in terms of pace. At least he knows he could last it to the end, but in terms of actual pace, it won't work for him. So it is unsurprising that Gareth's got past. But look at Knighton. Oh, that was almost a bit deep for Speed Knighton on turn number 3. My oh my, Matt has gone for soft. So one of he's gone for fastest lap, but you have to be inside the top 15 to get fastest lap. If you're not inside the top 15, you don't get any points at all. So you have to be in the top 15 to fight for it, and that's what Matter is doing right now, because he's got nothing to lose at this stage. Oh, Gav's gone deep, but Knighton did not go for the move there.
Yeah, Gareth's struggling under braking here. He's gotten deep a couple times his lap below.
Oh.
But Knighton just doesn't have the traction. He's almost spotted into the wall there. He had to catch the car there. It was walking into a spin. Somehow keeps the car pointing straight there. But it's let Gareth survive again. Of course, Knighton has a 5-second time penalty. So at the moment, he'll drop down to P7. So he needs to clear Gareth and get a move on to keep his position. It's looking like Stephen will have this podium. It looks like the 1-2-3 is set as we come to the last 5 laps of this Grand Prix. But we still have a battle for the rest of the point scoring positions at this stage. How quick will Matt be on those soft compound tires? And what will the penalties do, as there's a few penalties being dished out here? Meanwhile, these two still find it, Waze and then Ryan. And Ryan, Wade is getting a lot of marbles on his tires. Goes off the track there. He doesn't have DRS. DRS game goes to Ryan this time around, which is going to frustrate Waze even more. But he's going to have DRS this time around. So I think it's going to be actually a battle between Excited and Speed Y Racer. Climbing up the hill to turn 4. Bit of an incline here. Those who don't know, Excited going to try to keep it around the inside. Then Y's the long way around. He just keeps on track. He's going to just keep that position just very close going off the track. Well, just had his right tires before the white line, so his position is good.
His position is good for now, but for how much longer can he keep it like that? I think Yuri's having a much better race than last time. Not the spinner that we're used to from the sprint race, so he's probably got used to the handling of the car a bit more, which is great to see. But Excite is going to find a way to get past him at the moment. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers who have got time penalties. If there's a safety car, that could make or break people's chances of either getting a podium or even a win in Glock's case. Glock looks like he's going to get the win anyway. He's miles up in front, 2.7 seconds. Then the next car between Glock and Cam is 16 seconds. And Sieben is falling away from Gareth. But let's see, with Knighton getting the DRS, if Knighton can do anything about it on those hard tyres. Bearing in mind, it's more durable than what we saw in the sprint race because they can able to push it for a little bit longer. Into towards turn 2 now they go. Oh, I think he must have got a warning for that on track for track limits then. Surely that was a track limit warning because he went all 4 wheels off the track and he's unable to get past Gareth either. Meanwhile, Casper gets past Tony through turn 2. Now he's towards turn 3. Tony's going to go for a late lunge. He's going to go left or right. He's got the DRS as well. And don't forget, nobody has any ERS in these F2 cars. So we've got Casper's going to think tactically through 4 and 5 now. It's the same corner we saw Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen have a battle, and both drivers complaining that the other driver is exceeding track limits. That was in 2021. Oh, Yuri! Unfortunately, Yuri gets a time penalty and he's gone off. His first mistake he's made in this race, which is a shame.
It's going to cost him 2 positions right now as M Excited and Ryan Berry just behind him. Ryan Berry's going to send 1 into turn 11 on M Excited. I don't think M Excited saw that coming as he had to kind of drift a bit, and Ryan Berry just puts the flat down and absolutely steams down the inside of turn 11 for P7, which will turn into P6 very shortly.
Yes, it will, due to these penalties. Let's get those time penalties up, shall we? There we go. So 5 seconds for Cam and Knighton for speeding in the pit lane. 3 seconds for Yuri and Matt Ryan. 3 seconds for Casper. 5 seconds for Tony. 8 seconds for Wasabi. 5 seconds for Mata and Leroy. And 3 seconds for Lewis. Everyone else has 0 penalties, but warnings. That is the thing we've got to watch out for here.
Yeah, Bahrain isn't the worst for track limits anyway.
Guitar.
I would have said Austria, to be honest. But
I don't know.
Meanwhile, 5 for P4.
I haven't driven a race around Austria on this game, so I don't know. But I know Qatar
It's horrible.
Oh, okay then. So maybe Austria as well as Qatar, but out of the races I've driven on this game, Qatar is definitely the worst. As Speed Knighton got past Gareth, there's contact there. And Gareth going wide to try and go for the move through 7 and 8. This could be the one he's looking for. Gareth trying to go for assist, so his Knighton by defending. Could be a switchback, 310.
No, didn't have good traction.
Nope, which is a shame, but he's still got, after this lap, 2 more laps to do it. We could try here. No.
No, just too far back. But you have no chance. He has to position on penalties anyway. And there's a 6-second gap behind him. So he doesn't need to fight this too much. Of course, there is obviously the pride. But this is looking like he'll have P4 no matter what, as long as he doesn't make a mistake.
Way's fine with Casper for P10. And looked like Casper had a bit of a squiggle there through 30.
Yeah.
Yellow flag. That's Davo, I think. Yeah, that is. Oh, it's Leroy.
No.
Leroy. Oh, it's one of the orange cars anyway.
He's being lapped now.
Oh, Gareth on Knighton. Through turn 1. Pete could try and get the switchback. There's contact being made again, but somehow they still keep it on the road. This is lovely stuff. And this time, Pete could try and go the long way round to the outside, maybe. Or is he going to be forced to wait one more lap? Or could he try in the heavy braking zone through turn 10? Probably he would want the DRS in the final lap. So if I were him, I would stay behind Gareth for this lap and then wait until the final lap to go for the attack and pushing. And I think that's what...
At the same time, penalties are going to dictate this position by looks of things.
But he still wants to win it on track, though, so he's still got to go for it.
I mean, he's going to have... He's going to have some attempt to win this on track. He's currently 28 seconds off Glock, unfortunately. Glock's just had a nice drive as he's about to start the last lap of his very nice drive.
Yeah, we are about to start the penultimate lap of this... Well, the penultimate lap of this race. Oh, no, final lap of this race. It's hard to track the start-finish line here, but Glock been leading since the start. He took qualifying, got pole, finished well in the sprint. As Matta and Jack Craig going for the move this time. And he's up into 13th.
Steve is...
Hopefully
I'm trying to go into the pit lane off Knighton. A bit too far up the leaderboard. I was looking. Both of them a bit locked up through turn 1. This could let Knighton go through, though. He'll have DRS a similar distance. Gareth seems to just be a bit better through turn 2 and 3. It's going to be a send if Knighton wants this position, but he's just going to back off. Well, he could go for a switchback, but both of them went D through 4. And that's the last major overtaking point on this lap, unless there's a send by the Virtuosi car. But there might be a send here. He's good for 7. He's going to try to stick one down the inside of 8. That forces Gareth wide, but almost into the wall is Knighton. I think he needs to be careful. He might lose out to Ryan Berry very soon. Ryan Berry's getting close to that 5-second mark.
That is quite close. Oh, Cam! I think that's Cam's chance of getting the win, I think. Done and dusted right now. As we are
going
back.
through the final corner.
Let's watch Glock. You started the race, you finish it.
Well, we haven't seen much of him today. But he's going to come around. He's going to pause the line a bit. Drifting through his Glock to take a commanding win here. Cam will take a comfortable P2 despite his penalties. We'll have to wait a while for Stephen, but he can be happy with himself with a very strong podium. He may have had the slowest pit entry in the history of pit entries here in Bahrain, but he will take a podium. And it's looking like it might be a drag race on the line for on-track P4. It will be Gareth, but who takes it on track? It's looking like it will be Gareth anyway. So we'll have to see where the rest of the field comes with penalties. Speed Racer will be 6 on track, but he drops the P7. Ryan Berry takes 6. MXI is going to be about 3-way battle for P9. It's going to be MXI, Casper, and Waze jumps up due to penalties. So
Good
Casper
on Waze.
Ryan 11th. Jack Craig will take 12th. Tony 13th. Matt 14th. And we wait for Wasabi to finish off the points. There is a pile-up by looks of things in turn 1. But that is after the points. We still have Lewis Craig.
That's
still funny to look at them crashing across the line.
I've done it before.
There's your P1 and your P2, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if I was a mechanic
if it was
for those
real
teams,
life,
P45 is in.
If it was real life, they would be disqualified for crashing like that. But luckily, you can do that in game. Yuri got drive of the day in game. I have to say, Yuri driven a lot better compared to the sprint, and he has a good pace. Only made a few mistakes, and still got some decent points. So, just to show that you can redeem yourself after a few races. But Glock wins and gets 25 points added to his name. Stephen got points in both the sprint and feature. I think that could close him up to Glock, or even take the lead of the championship. Actually, no, Cam will, because He won the sprint and came second in the feature. So I think it will be Cam. But I'm not the one to do the standings, so I can't do maths, unfortunately. But there's your weekend results, but we're not going to pay attention to that because we do a different point system. So, Glock wins from Cam, Stephen, Gav, Speed Knighton, Ryan Berry, Yuri, Excite, Wade, Casper, Ryan, Jack, Tony, Matta, Wasabi. They're your point scorers. And fastest lap belongs to Glock. So Glock gets maximum points on that one. And we've got Lewis, Craig, Dave, Leroy, and your only retirement, JP. So, first week, F2 weekend of the season. What did you think of it?
It was surprisingly clean. I think that's my biggest shock, that we didn't have any major incidents. Just a VSC at the start is all we had in interventions. Will that be the way the whole way out? I highly doubt it. I think we'll have at least one incident-filled race. Maybe it's next week in Imola. Who knows? I'm not going to jinx anything though. But yeah, Glock looking early doors, set to take a second title. Consecutive title, technically. I don't know if we call this an official title or not, but he's looking set to follow on with his Tier 1 title.
Yes, indeed. So, we're going to wrap things up here. Obviously, we don't have the standings to go through, so we'll do that next week. But we will get the candle up for you as a reminder as to what the race is for next week. So, we go to Imola, round number 2. As Rando was saying, the F2 cars didn't race there this year. But we're going to go to do so. Such an iconic track. Obviously, you got turns 1 and 2 of Tamburello, which I have to say could cause a pile up there as well. So hopefully they'll put some practice in, especially with the fixed setups. Through Villeneuve as well, quite iconic. Piratella, Aquaminerale, quite difficult corner. I hate driving the track, but commentating it is actually not too bad. What can you expect heading into next week?
Probably more incidents. It's a way more tighter track than Bahrain, and there's a lot. The overtaking spots are very high speed, especially turn 1. Tamburello is a very high speed and awkward tight chicane, so there may be more incidents. You're close to the wall in Imola, so expect chaos, to say the least.
Yes, could be chaos, you never know, it may not be chaos. We'll have to wait and see, but we're going to be heading off now. So thank you guys so much for watching today's F2 Cup Series round number 1 around Bahrain. If you are liking the content, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell if you are new. Follow us on Twitter at VSL_F1 and Instagram as well. I refuse to call it X because what is that? You can also follow us on socials as well. I'm at JessGames95. Rando, what is your socials, if you please?
Rando IE.
On Twitter. And basically, I'm JessGames95 everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. But the most features you can find me is on Twitter anyway. But we'll leave you there. But congratulations to Cam and Glock for winning tonight's races. And we'll both see you next time. No, I wasn't meant to have that scene yet. But we will see you next time for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in the F2 cars. It should be a great one. See you soon. Bye-bye. And now it's time to put the ending soon scene on. Bye-bye.